Dr. Steve YACOVELLI, who is also known as the Gay Leadership Dude, is the owner and principal of Top Dog Learning Group. It is a learning and development leadership, change management, and diversity and inclusion consulting firm based in Orlando, Florida, with affiliates across the globe. Dr. Steve has over 25 years of experience in leadership, strategy, organizational learning, and communication. That's a lot, Dr. Steve. Welcome.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Good to be here.
You wrote a book called Pride Leadership, Strategies for the LGBTQ plus leader to be the king or queen of their jungle. That sounds great. What topics does your book cover?
Yeah, it's funny because I wrote the book. I was going down the path of writing a quote unquote generic leadership book, and it was one that was 30 almost 30 years of experience. What you see leaders who are rocking and rolling, and some who are kind of crashing and burning, and you kind of just start to see the patterns. And then I remember there was a TV show where one of the characters would say, "I couldn't help but wonder," and I couldn't help but wonder as I'm getting this book together, is there something a little bit different about LGBTQ plus or queer leaders who have a different experience than some of our straight brothers and sisters and siblings. And so in Pride Leadership, I talk about these six competencies: authenticity, courage, empathy, communication, relationships, and culture. And I put it through what I call the rainbow lens, and how a queer leader has just a different opportunity to exercise these leadership muscles than maybe some other folks.
That's very interesting. And you say that anyone can develop as a leader, but how do those, as part of the LGBTQ plus community, have a different opportunity to grow into leaders? Items that you were mentioning there, how do those come into play and work together?
Yeah, Elizabeth, it's a great question. So let's take the first one, authenticity, for example. There's lots of great leadership gurus out there who are saying, when you're authentic, you're a better leader. Yes, people know when you're kind of being fake. But if you put that through the rainbow lens, let's say I'm an out gay man at work, or I'm a trans person who's being their authentic self within the workplace. That's power. That's authenticity. And in my book, Pride Leadership, we talk about how you turn that into leadership success.
How about culture?
So it's looking at the artifacts, the language, the big and small ways that we're creating an inclusive space and creating that sense of belonging for all leaders. And I say leader meaning pretty much everybody in the workplace. And that's what we mean about shaping the organizational culture.
You also talk about empathy and communication, and then relationships. Are you referring to the way people grew up and how their family received them?
Some of that, but mostly about the relationships between workplace colleagues, outside vendors, really like when you're sitting, and the book Pride Leadership is really focused through the workplace lens, although you can be a leader everywhere, but really thinking about the relationships through what you can do to build and foster those with those around you in the workplace.
Okay, love that. How do you maintain and teach resilience through these times that might be harder to navigate?
Yeah, it's one of the things that, interestingly enough, at Top Dog Learning Group became a very big topic over the course of the last several years. And I'd been working with resilience. I was an IBM consultant for many years, and really thinking about how humans adapt to change, and their ability to do that is what we call resiliency. And in all the books and all the research that I read, there really are three big things that any leader, any person can think about when it's looking at building their resiliency. It's being positive, and we see that, we hear that, but it really is looking at the glass being half full versus half empty. It's really looking at what we call my self-concept, knowing what I can bring to the table, knowing I've survived change in the past. Change is going to happen, but how do I not just survive but thrive? And it's really looking at how I get comfortable with these uncertain times and make sure my energy is being channeled into things that I can either control or influence versus what a lot of us do, and that's put it out in the energy
Steve,
space where we can't control it.
Steve, these are great tips. Where can we go for more information?
The best place to go is our website, topdoglearninggroup.biz. You can find out about our programs, our books, and all sorts of cool stuff my top doggers and I offer.
All right, thanks so much, Dr. Yakovic. We appreciate it. Great stuff there.